Hey there, welcome back to Mantic Stringworks. So today is a follow-up video to see if this Fender Precision neck that's extremely bowed can be straightened. So last video I set it up in this position with these clamps, so we've clamped down the heel firmly. I've got a neck support here with a little leather pad on it. Then we have a clamp up at the headstock, and we've tightened that down to create a back bow like this, right? So we have a hump, if you will, in the middle, right around the 8th, 9th frets, which is what we're looking for. Then I tighten the truss rod all the way, as much as it would go. So, in theory, when we release the clamping pressure, this neck maybe will hold that back bow. It'll spring back for sure. But I'm hoping that when I release the clamping pressure, there'll still be a back bow in it. And it might not be as much as what it is now, but at least that'll be workable. Let me know what you think. I don't have high hopes for this neck because I believe the grain pattern, and once I take the clamps off I can flip it over and show you. I think it's too open, and this makes the neck very weak in that sense. We don't have enough straight grain in the neck to keep the neck straight, or to help it at least. Could be a softer maple, I don't know. But we shall see. Alright. Okay, so once again, there's our extreme back bow. We're under full tension. Now I'm going to start releasing this clamp, and then we're going to see. It's going to spring back for sure. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Okay, I'm not going to take the clamp right off because I don't want everything to fall off, but now I have basically no pressure on there at all. Let's see if I can get that clamp up. There we go. Okay, clamp away. No damage. The leather took the damage. Okay, well, let's put that straight edge back on. Oh, we still have a back bow. Okay, well, what does that tell us? It tells us that the truss rod is really holding this neck in position, so there's a lot of tension on there. Will it hold this position under string tension? Remember, we can't go any further with the truss rod, so there's a back bow. String tension will lift the neck up, the headstock end up a little bit. So that might be just perfect, right, when we string this up. So I gotta find a body to put this on. But, you know, I think, you know, it's definitely better than it was. It's not ideal, but in a perfect situation, a neck with no truss rod tension, so in a neutral position, should be flat. Maybe a touch of a back bow, but it should be flat. That's ideal, right? But this is wood, and that's why we put a truss rod in there, so that if there are any changes, you can adjust it. But right now, I'm kind of liking the fact that we have this back bow, and under string tension, it's going to pull that up a little bit, but not a ton. And it might be just enough to make this neck playable. How long it would be playable for, I don't know. That's the other issue, right? So let's flip this neck over, and I'll show you the grain pattern on it, which I think is too open grain. So here we go. I'll angle it into the camera a bit. See, especially this side, really open grain, nothing tight and straight. What you want is really what you see here. See these nice straight grain lines? You want that going all the way up the neck if you can. But this, yeah, that just doesn't look like a good piece of wood for a neck. Especially a bass neck. There's tons of tension on a bass neck. So that's my theory, at least. I think this neck's open grain is just not strong enough to resist the string tension. But time will tell, right? It's a nice neck, though. Now, some of you might be familiar with previous videos where I've taken this bag of rice. So this is basically 2 old athletic tube socks. I filled it up with uncooked rice. Believe it or not, I've had tons of questions asking, should the rice be cooked or uncooked? Don't know if you're just trolling me, but too many questions, I think, for that not to be real. So I put this in the microwave, heat it up, gets up to about 175, almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I bring it down and I put it on the neck in the clamped position, of course, and cover it usually with a towel or something to keep a lot of the heat, and just leave it on there. The theory is you heat up the neck a bit, you loosen up the glue, or you liquefy the glue a little bit, then the neck is in this shape, and then when it all cools and then it dries in that shape. So it's worked on quite a few guitar and bass necks that I've done this on. Pretty simple little method. It's kind of funny, but it works. So I don't know, I might still do that with this neck. I might leave it here and check on it in a few more days and see if anything's changed, and if it's still in that backbow position, well, I'm just gonna have to find a body and put this on. So tell me what you think. Do you want to see the rice sock on there? We could do another short video too, but let me know. All right, take care.